When there comes a time for a child to be born, there are several children that are sensitives, and those that are sensitives get chosen. We who are sensitive to evil, or good, can see what normal people can't. ESP, as many scientists believe to be paranormal or supernatural, but you have to see it in the eyes of us, who have been taught that everything is possible, and it is all limitless. So basically, we see things, and we let our elders know. Now when children cry, it's either because something was bothering them, or they sense something bad. Easy, when a child is laughing or smiling while no one is in the room. It could be a good spirit playing with them, or it could be a bad spirit playing with them. It's hard to tell because there is nothing evil in the beginning. It's all trickery to us because they can't harm the innocent. I was one of these children who was a sensitive, and I was given the name Hashk Ta Deeswood, which translates to one who walks around with warriors, or one who is always honest with those he encounters. Now, with me, my grandmother raised me to be a good kid, never going out into the night, or opening a window at night, or whistling at night. No, for a child, because that's what calls the bad spirits over to you. So I did nothing but listen to her stories of all these things. My father came into the picture when I was like 5 or 6, and he just visited time to time. Now when I turned 8, I was allowed to go with him to his place. He then started my training, as I call it. I was hunting and gathering things for him. I thought it was fun because I was hanging out with my father. Now when I turned 9, it began. I was the youngest of the group of kids chosen by the elders to partake in this event. I was a sensitive, and still am, so they performed a 3-day ceremony in which they had a huge bonfire going, and they were dancing around it. They had their skins, and animal skins. When I say skins, I mean human skins as well. There were people getting butchered and mutilated in these camps, in the caves on the top of the mountains near my hometown. And I vividly remember watching a man get slaughtered, and I can remember his screams of agony. This is what haunts me to this day. I tell people all the time, dude, you have no idea what it's like to go through hell, or to have screams in your head, or to watch it in person. We the children have to sit in front of a mirror. This mirror is like a portal to a deep, dark dimension, and it remains dark until the ceremony is almost complete. It reflects our image, but in a ghastly way. And now the chants, and the songs, and the dancing, it's all happening while people around are being slaughtered. The entire time, we have to fast. That means no food, no water, for the entire 3 days. Sorry. Once the 3 days are over, and there are some of us who survive, keep that in mind. And also keep in mind that they chose 15 kids, and only 3 of us make it out alive. I'm the youngest of all of them. Now, the 4th day, we have to go around talking to animals in their language, and we have to understand them. We have to play with some and challenge some, all while being observed by skinwalkers that are already initiated. If we pass, with their approval, we get to do one more thing. Eat. But in order to do so, we have to kill either an animal or a human. Then we eat whichever we kill. I killed a prairie dog because I couldn't even stand the thought of eating a person. That's what sets the skinwalkers apart. whether you eat a human or an animal. Eating an animal will most likely result in us being able to obtain white or clear eyes, unless you eat snakes or coyotes. Eating a human will always result in obtaining the famous and infamous red or yellow eyes. Once the sacrifice is made, and you survive through it all, you obtain the right to be called a Skinwalker. Now keep in mind that even Skinwalkers play by the natural law. They come together in this time, be it bad or good, to raise more Skinwalkers. But this only happens every rare occasion in which there are changes that are being made by the planet due to climate or interplanetary change. We are more in tune with nature than most. We understand the crystal and how it communicates to us. This is why most scientists believe that logic does not mix with reality. Logic is their way of trying to explain something they don't understand and are afraid of. We, on the other hand, know enough that there are always going to be things that we can't explain. But we will describe it. We won't be afraid of it because if it's in our world, then it must be in others as well, meaning it was always there to begin with. So it's nothing new to the universe, but it is to us, therefore it is not supernatural or paranormal. Same goes for spirits, aliens, UFOs. They're just crossing over, no big deal. Now Mother Earth provides us chosen with massive amounts of energy which we can keep forever. We have the power to manipulate and control certain things. I for one can control the weather with my emotions, and I can befriend any wild animal, and I can also manipulate people's thought processes. I was chosen with clear eyes, and I was given a bald eagle feather. See, most don't know this, but you don't need the full skin to transform. You just need a piece of a part of the animal. I transformed for the first time. It took me 12 hours to master the art. See, I was taught that I could only go so far before there would be no limits like they teach nowadays, but you have to let go of everything in order to realize the beauty of shifting. Once shifted, you can fly as high as you see fit. It was great, being 9 and flying all over shiprock at high speeds. Having pure sight of everything was the best. Then I did something stupid. I transformed back while I was trying to land, and I landed on my face, hard. I stumbled a bit, and I couldn't remember anything for a while, but then I caught my thoughts, and I knew what I had done. I was proud of myself. I was greeted back at the caves with joy, and food, and even water. I enjoyed every meal afterward because I was hungry. The other kids had turned too. One transformed into a snake, and the other was a cougar. We were happy until it came time to face the mirrors. I got in front of a mirror. My mirror. Stared into my own eyes and I saw great glory. Clear eyes. The mirror then finally became wavy, as if it was part of the water, and something had hit it to make it start to wave. In the mirror was a mountain of flames, and towering over those flames was a dark winged creature that had a long jaw and what looked like ram horns. It stared at me, and it called me its son. But it said my purpose was to help those in need and to fight for the better good. Therefore, it rejected me and said that I was no longer its son, and it was going to protect me from harm, but it would have nothing to do with me. The mirror cracked, and the pieces fell. The other kids didn't have the same experience. Their mirror was returned to normal, so I guess I was the one that the mirror decided to show me this image. After all, my dad took me back to his house, and we slept with the doors open. I didn't care. I was practically invincible, and I had this thought that I could do whatever I wanted, and I was fully protected, but I snapped. This little orb of light came into my house, and I stood up, and this orb flew to me, into me. It tickled, and I started to glow as if I was a glow stick. I walked outside, and I saw a face form out of dust in front of me. It was a man. He spoke to me, saying that he was the creator, and that what had happened was for the best, and that I was to be honored to protect the people when I transformed. I was excited, and I didn't want to believe it was the Creator speaking to me, so the orb left. I went to sleep. Next day, I got back home to my mother's and told her everything. She freaked out and took me to a medicine man fast. I got all the ceremonies done to reverse it all, but I feel that it's stuck with me and that I can still transform. I haven't tried it, but if you knew what it felt like, your body thirsts to do it again. So on occasion, I clear the clouds, and I make sure no animals harm people. I hope this helps you in your quest to seek the truth on your end. I'm pretty much covered on everything. By the way, 2012 is going to be a normal year. Same goes for 2013. It's just a time for transition and a coming of evolution. I'd tell you more, but I'll leave the rest to your research. Blessings from afar. Peace.